You're listening to Texas Top Homes. I'm your host, Freeman Sawyer. With me is my co-host, Tracy Wiesman. Our first guest is one of Texas Top Realtors, Greg Knapp, with the Texas Real Estate Outlet. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Freeman. Thanks, Tracy.
Welcome, Greg. So, Greg, let's start off by you telling us about Texas Real Estate Outlet and Lease-to-Own 24/7.
Well, Texas Real Estate Outlet, of course, we try to serve the needs of Texans to be able to find a home or sell a home, and they can do that, generally speaking, in conjunction with that. But I also specialize in helping people get lease-to-own homes because, as you know, there's often people who are not quite ready for a mortgage, even though Skyline Home Loans is able to do things as well as anybody with minimum criteria. But there's some people that don't quite qualify but they need a home right now, and we help them with that.
Yeah, and that's a very important point. You know, since the mortgage meltdown, right, and Dodd-Frank and all that happened back in, 08, 09, national studies show that 2/3 of the population is still sitting on the sidelines with some sort of credit drama or trauma that they had, waiting to get back in the game. So I know that lease-to-own is one of those opportunities out there to give that customer who's sitting on the sidelines an alternative way to finance a new home.
Exactly. It really is a different form of financing because the credit scores are a lot lower to lease to own than they are to get a mortgage. Plus, some of the other criteria are a little easier too. So it makes it very possible for a person to get in the home they need and want right now instead of waiting for a year to get everything fixed up and for the prices to go up and everything that goes along with that.
Right. Now, I'm fairly familiar with lease to own, but I want to make sure our listeners out there know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So if you've had a bankruptcy, right, or you had a short sale or you had a foreclosure, and the federal government, the way they insure these loans, says, hey, you can't do anything for 2 years up to 4 years, with lease to own, that 2-year or 4-year waiting policy would disappear, correct?
Exactly, because the lease-to-own investors don't care about that. And in fact, that's one of the major reasons why they started working with this type of situation to begin with.
That's great. So you got to have some down payment, though?
Not much. There's a couple of different investors that we use. Then the one that is the lowest is actually less than 3%.
Got to love that. Mm-hmm. And then you said subpar credit's okay.
Yes.
But what about income? They got to make some money, right?
They have to make at least $50,000 a year household income. So if you have your brother living with you, but you're both going to live there, even though your brother's maybe not going to buy the house and you're still working on that situation, you could still count that income.
So, Greg, we're past the incubation period of a credit drama or trauma. They got to have a job, which most people do, and a little bit of down payment. I think you just put that 2/3 back off the sidelines, off the bench. They're back in the game.
I'll bet a large percentage of those people could lease to own right now.
That's fantastic. Greg, how can folks find you? Give us your website and your phone number.
Well, my phone number is 888-364-1553. And you can go to TexasRealEstateOutlet.com or better yet, leasetown247.com.